Shidduchim podcast.
All right, new episode. Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. Episode 85. What's up, Avery? Welcome back. Avery, welcome back.
It's been so long.
It has been. I usually see you. I see you every day, and now I don't see you. What happened?
What happened?
Avery moved. We were neighbors for some time, and he made the move. So we don't see you anymore. Tell us about that soon, maybe. Paige, what's up? What's up, Paige? How you doing?
What's up? All good.
Good.
Happy to be back.
Happy to be back on the show.
Yep.
This episode, we will just go through some stuff together. We're going to go through stuff together. So we're going to do challenges and games. No, I don't know what we're going to do.
It's a real variation from the last 80-something episodes where we didn't go through stuff.
Did we not go through anything? I don't know. What are the people's... How'd you like the past few episodes, Avery? Was it...
Obviously I've been listening to them nonstop because that is the only podcast I listen to, right?
That's what comedians
What's it called? Do. Meaningful People? The one that we're...
How dare you?
No? Oh.
That's a great show. I love everyone. He facetiously said.
Yeah, life's good.
Good.
It's an interesting hat you're wearing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is the stuff we're going through.
Well, I can comment on a hat.
This hat, I just oh, you remember the hat story. We went to, where did we go recently? Delaware. Went with Delaware with the boys and Ocean City, Maryland, which is really Delaware. It's in Maryland, but it's really Delaware. It's this little... just peninsula that sticks into Delaware, and Maryland's we want that. So anyway, it's so we were just by some club. Where were we by? What was that? Secrets. Someone had this hat. I'm I gotta have that hat. Couldn't figure out where they got it from. I just couldn't go over and ask them. And anyway, I ended up buying 10 other hats that look like it. Still isn't the one. Kind of like my Shidduch journey. Paige, you've been listening to the past few episodes. Have we helped you at all?
Yes, very entertaining. You helped me be entertained.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's nice to hear everyone's viewpoint and to know you're not the only one thinking a certain way, and definitely, like I said, entertaining. I usually do when I feel I want to feel upbeat. I'm okay, let me listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that we're all in it together.
Also, if I could speak for Paige, I know she stopped listening to Alex Jones after he lost his defamation lawsuit.
What happened?
And she was a
there?
big fan. So, yeah.
Yes, so now she has something to listen to.
She has something else to look forward to.
Avery, stop picking on poor old Paige.
Yeah.
She's fun to pick on.
What happened there?
So
something that could happen to any of us.
Yeah. What happened? He has to pay them. He declared bankruptcy. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, a jury declared that he must pay a fine of $1 billion or up to close to $1 billion for his defamatory comments about the children who were murdered in Sandy Hook, which is pretty crazy.
I was praise this. Where do you even find this guy? Where do you even find this guy has a podcast? What does he have now?
Alex Jones?
Yeah.
He's got a right-wing... Who was that Jewish from guy who was very popular for a hot minute?
Ben Shapiro.
Is that... No, the special needs guy.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about. Tischler, that guy. That is the... He's that...
Heshy.
So this guy is...
Uncle Heshy.
Yeah, this special...
He just had a baby, a grandson, actually.
So Alex Jones was that to the right-wing conspiracy theorist media.
Hey guys, it's IJ from the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. I want to take a moment to tell you about Kosher Response. It's helping families each and every day that are in dire need of our continued help and support. Whether it's Shabbos, Yom Tov, or even a weekday meal, we can't do it without you. Food will be distributed by packages to people's homes who are in much dire need. Hundreds of families are helped, so please partner with Kosher Response by doing this mitzvah with them. This chesed, and for all information, you can go to their website, which is donorbox.org/kosher response, or you can go to kosherresponse.com Again, Kosher Response, helping families in need and doing great things.
Anyway, so I wanted to talk about.
Did you want to talk about?
No, I wanted to talk about this episode. Everyone's like, "What's the topic?" I just wanted to leave you cringy, but I wanted to.
The whole episode. We're just going to talk about the episode.
No, I wanted to get into. Like hobbies, and like hobbies and new clubs, new experiences. I think that's a cool thing that singles like to do, need help with. I feel like we're all in a certain stage. Like, I don't even say stage during our life anymore. I just say the stage this month. Like, this is where we are mentally. And I'm trying some new things. Avery, you've been trying some new things. Paige, maybe you'll tell us. I don't know. You're exploring some new things, right? Paige, yes. You were telling me you moved from a Jewish community to another Jewish community.
Exactly.
And I won't say where, because, we have a lot of crazy fans, a lot of crazy ex-Space Yaakov boys out there. Yeah, no, I was saying girls. The girls also
girls.
now. But I feel like, so you like moved out, you moved to a different Jewish community now, and it's all about chasing what works for you. That's what I like to put it. Like chasing what's going to work for you, making what's going to work for you, creating what's working for you as a single, living the single life, living the single journey. Myself, I have signed up for a class also. Like I'm now in a dating, like a goyish dating course. And I'm like, really, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I did it. I've been doing it for 10 years on the Jewish dating. And it's like, I don't know, these hot Chani mommies who are dating coaches, they're just not like doing it for me anymore. And I just want results. I want to change it up, right?
I actually just met yesterday a really good, solid dating coach.
Get out of here.
Jewish.
Okay, Jewish.
But like this guy, he knows what I spoke to him a couple years back. He remembered like what I said, but forget about it. What he remembers, he's really, really good. So when you're done with this, if it doesn't work, I'll connect you with the
It will work. It's gonna. I'm telling you,
okay,
this is gonna work.
It may work.
And Avery, I know you've been doing something. You've been doing improv.
Yeah, I've been improvising.
You've been improvising. Would you feel comfortable telling the oilam?
Yeah, sure. I don't. That's
because you came over for Sukkot. We had a whole Sukkot. Nobody talked Shidduchim meal, by the way. Everyone should know out there. Me, Avery, my family, some other cast members. It was legendary. It was legendary.
Sounds nice.
Cigars.
I wish you were there. So people are moving on. Like even this last crew that I got into, the Avery crew. Avery let me into his crew because I'm a few years older. Now this crew's moving on, right? Like you think it's
a good thing, by the way.
Yeah,
it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Everybody,
I just wasn't prepared for it. Like it just happened. I saw it happening, and I'm okay with it. It's just to get a whole new crew is a whole thing. And that's those moments where you say, okay, I have to now like put my time and invest my time into something,
or into yourself,
and into myself. And in my situation, I jumped into this goyish dating coach class. And Avery, you said you're doing improv. How's that going? Tell us about it.
Well, you said I was doing improv. You brought it up, which is fine. It's going fantastic. Yeah, it's a very fun hobby, and I have been enjoying it. I started doing it in the February of 22 or March. Around March time, and it's
a few months.
Yeah, it's an incredibly, at least at the beginning, was an incredibly overwhelming proposition to begin with because it's an uncomfortable thing to do, to put yourself out there in front of people and be vulnerable, acting with strangers. Number one, if you have social anxiety or shy or introverted, it's especially harder for you to do those things, and that definitely would be my case. And generally, to put yourself out there emotionally to consider. If for those of you who don't know what improv is, it's a form of acting, dramatically without any script. So you're sort of just working with people that are your colleagues, and you're working together as a unit to build a sort of scene or characters, and it's it's like challenging.
Is it still the same? Do you feel the same way as when you started?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's good. That's a good thing.
I think it's good though. Yeah, it is good.
It's a good thing, right? Hits the brain, the dopamine's going because it's a new thing, it's challenging, and you want to put everything into it.
Yeah, yeah. I think one of my teachers said that being good or doing improv, it's one of those things that you get better, but it's a linear equation. So it's going to go up, it's going to go down. It's going to look like mountains or the Chris Christie weight loss plan. It just goes up and down, and it's not easy.
Right.
Some weeks you're going to feel good. Some weeks you're in a funk. If you're not feeling good about yourself, then it's tough. But yeah, I recommend it to anybody and everybody.
Yeah, I remember at this Shabbos whatever meal we had, I was told someone, and someone's like, "What you're doing? This and this? Are you a goer?" So I think it's such a stereotype on both ends for classic Jewish family member to say such a thing, but also to just categorize some you doing this. In your case, was improv, and not everyone fits that mold or that blend in the when you're in the Orthodox community, the Frum community, where going to shul does it for you. Is the social club for women. The tehillim group is the social club. It doesn't do it for everybody. It just doesn't. So, but those preconceived notions are there. It's the stereotype. I remember one episode of One Tree Hill, first few episodes. Karen Rowe, Lucas Scott's mother, gets on the team. He's playing on the team, and then the Five Towns mommies, the Tree Hill mommies, come over to him and say, "Where's your mother? We have to invite her now to Boosters." That's the team. The mothers of the team get together. They have a cohort, and they do weird things together. Paige, you made this move. I think it's relatable. Our new endeavors with your move, right? Your move. Why'd you move? What was it about there?
So, like you said, at the end of the day, that wasn't previous place that I was in. Did not work for me in my stage of life. So I did something about it, and I made a change, made a move. I actually don't have family in the new town I live in, and I did have family where I'm coming from. So that was also in a sense something that crossed my mind, but in a very good way. Because I remember someone's like, "Oh, but you're not going to be near your blah blah blah." I'm like, okay, I'm not attached to that person by the hip. I'm not. My name is to fame is not this person's sister or cousin or whatever it was. It's I am me, and I'm going to make a life for myself, and I'm going to show up and meet new people and just be me, and I don't have to be someone else's something. I'm me, Paige, and so far it's going really well. And someone even said "Oh wow, you're doing that. You called this person, you spoke to that person, you asked them that." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Wow, you're so brave." I'm like, you know what? It feels really good.
Well, Paige, I think that leads to a larger point, which is the Jewish from people identity crisis that many of us and many people we know are facing. It's okay, who am I? Where am I living? What does that mean to me? What is this relationship with my parents, my friends, whomever, what I'm doing, my community, my job?
Yeah.
What do these things really mean to me? And it takes somebody who's larger than or more self-aware to actually question those things and say, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, just because my parents or my family doesn't live here, my cousin doesn't live with me. Yeah, but I'm me. I'm Paige. I can go out and be someone."
Do you feel the same way about your?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's evident.
It's good.
I think it's evident. When you can leave your
Yeah,
identity
your-
behind.
Right. Or your inborn identity, because technically that's just circumstantial, or like you didn't have a say in what community you grew up in or what family you were born into.
Mm-hmm.
Is my mic working?
Yeah, yours is, yeah.
Okay.
You hear you?
No, I don't.
Oh, how about now?
Now I do not either.
Wait, I think you're this one. You hear you? You hear you?
Let me see if I don't, unless it, oh, now it's working. I don't know if it was working before, but.
Oh my God, what did I do? Put
Yeah.
this thing back.
Oh yeah, that's what happened. You moved it.
Who's
Anyhow.
This is Viggy's thing.
No, that one's mine.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Anyhow.
Okay,
you-
so as I was saying,
This one's yours. Do you hear yourself though?
yeah, now I do.
Okay, what was he? Avery, what was she saying?
No, I
You're
was
the,
saying something about like
Mhm.
you don't choose the community you're brought up in, the family that you're born into, but you can choose who you turn out to be and where that person is going to be, in a sense, self-made. Where, when, how. So making a move and being that independent person, doing things, going a little out of your comfort zone, like you said, you are doing as well, is a step, I think, in the right direction.
Yeah, it's all you got to have that versatility. That's what it's about, and being able to adapt different situations. Yeah, I mean, it certainly it goes beyond like just being single. It's not just about the single thing. I'm sure this could apply to a lot of married people as well. You get settled here and there in your life, and then you're kind of, who am I? Where am I? I know there was a friend of mine I used to have, and once the business was like settled in, once he built his second shul, once everything was in place, he's like, all right, now I'm going to go on a tour of Europe. He actually went to Europe by himself. It was like a 40th birthday celebration for him.
But it makes
You
sense
know?
because you can lose your identity once you're. I feel like when you're not yet married, it's like, oh, like, what's going on in your life? Like there's something has to be going on, or you have to be in a certain stage or whatever it is, or like waiting for it or looking for and asking about it, right? Like, oh, you dating anyone? When you're married, no one asks you about you anymore. It's about all your responsibilities, what comes along with marriage, whatever it is. And it's like the person who's actually married, do they have a sense of self? Do they feel, like you said, going away, they're doing something they enjoy. They're a person. It's not just my role now is father, husband, and pay the bills. Like, I'm a person, I'm going to go and be me.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody in shul over Sukkot, and of course he asked me what my dating life is. Do I meet shadchanim?
Did you regret
Why
going
not?
to shul?
And
No,
he
I
goes-
didn't regret. I didn't regret.
That's good.
And,
That means you're at a point where
yeah, I'm
you
very
know?
comfortable answering
Yeah.
these questions. So I sort of just
Put it back on him.
pinned the question back on him, and I said,
House.
well, he's like, oh, you're moving to the Upper West Side. He's like, wow, whoa, the Upper West Side. So you're not looking to get married. I'm like, I'm like, hold on a second.
What a tool.
I'm
What a
like-
tool.
I'm like, so
Classic.
You have the ability to categorize all the Jewish Orthodox people living in the Upper West Side by saying none of them got married. How have you, are you God? When did you create
Right.
this, gather this ability to stereotype and generalize every single person? And then I asked him, like, how many women have you ever spoken to outside of your marriage, outside of your relationship with your wife? He went on 3 shidduch dates with his wife, never spoke to anybody outside of his little bubble, and he never had an experience like the world or the rest of us have had. And I said, maybe instead of judging from your viewpoint, which is very difficult to do, and I'm not going to blame him, but it's hard to understand a perspective.
Abrasive, to say the least.
It's difficult to understand something that we have not experienced,
Right.
but that I think is the point of living. It's like, okay, take somebody's experience and don't judge it, let it be, and try and understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
I just palter at someone like that. I'm able to handle it better because when you're a young older single like myself, a young older single or an old young single. No, I'm old. I'm a young old
It's
single.
a bit of a
already.
contradiction. Yeah.
Well, like there's your old single is like for guys, what, like 30s, maybe girls 28. So I'm a young, old single. That's the term. So I know I palter with guys like this. But I'm slowly understanding why they do that. Like, simply to say, and this is coming from someone who's have had my challenges with it, and I've had my pissed off moments with it. And one big thing is, like, a lot of them are just jealous. A lot of them are just like looking and saying, how do you have life? Like, how do you have life? How are you alive? Because I'm here, and this is their very, very small part of them, like, saying, like, I'm busting my token, I got my family, like, and you're just single, and you're living the life, and you're doing everything, and like, that's not fair. That's what's really processing through their mind.
It's really interesting.
I've been with these people like for too long, and I was just proven when I went for Rosh Hashanah, I went for Yom Kippur, I went to Sukkot, I was not at my current cool single community anymore. I went back to the Altaheim, to the parents, and then actually went to my grandmother's old place. So I was in two different communities, and I just saw it. And like there was a rabbi of the shul. Like, gave me the lecture, and gave me the lecture. He didn't even pull me over. He just was like he was in the middle of a class, a Torah class, and he's like, "We need to get you married. We need to get you where you live. What's going on with you?" I said, so I knew right away. So I'm just gonna like throw it out to him. And I was using Avery's line because you were on my mind that day, Avery. So I said, "Oh, I'm moving to Upper West Side." Same response. "Oh, so you're giving up?" I'm like, what does one have to do with the? I'm like, I just played it easy. What does one have to do with the other? What helps is working with Goyim, working with non-Jews.
They have faith in you.
They have such great responses, like, and that's what I base it off of. I'll say, like, that's a classic Jewish answer. That's because like normal people don't say these things. So I told them about the holiday, and they're like, "Oh, sounds very nice for time with the family." I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Very nice time with the family. Then I went to, like, my Jewish coworker asked me, where are you? What's going on for the Chagim? "Oh, I'm going to be by my parents." "Oh, well, they daven at this shul. Don't go there. It's very bad." I'm just like, what? First of all, I don't even plan going there. Avery, how do you deal with these people?
There was a way.
You run away from them.
There was a way.
That's why it's. Oh,
I'm kidding.
No, that's honestly,
that's how one person dealt with it.
You could acquiesce, or you can bring on the night watch over here.
No, but I think you're onto something in that people need to understand that, or need to realize that you have to separate yourself and your needs from the community's needs and desires. And when those lines get blurred, the boundaries get crossed, it ends up negatively impacting you. A person needs to tell themselves, like, what is going on? What do I want? What are my desires? What are my needs? Right. Am I happy? Am I doing this out of fear of something else, of somebody? Or it's hard.
Paige, what would you recommend? So you go back to your... What would you recommend? Like, a part of the episode listeners are hearing, they're going back for the Yom Tovim to their parents' house. How do you manage it? How do you manage it?
So, first of all, it takes a lot of... You have to know... You have to try to tune out, first of all, what everyone's going to say. Because everyone's going to have comments all the time. You can't get around that. So just worry about yourself. Don't worry about what they're saying. And number one is, ultimately, they mean well. Number two is they have nothing else to say. They don't know what else to say. And number three is you kind of just smile. And like you said, maybe they're just jealous or they're feeling bad. And you kind of just, like, I don't know, make a comment back to them to, like, kind of close the conversation maybe if there's something that comes to mind. Or, I don't know, that depending on your age or stage, if it's a responsibility or an obligation for you to go back to your family. If that's not going to be where a place that you're going to feel good and happy, which you should be feeling around the Tovim, right? Especially like this holiday of Sukkot, supposed to be Simchasenu, then don't put yourself in that position, in that place. And there's nothing wrong with that. Go what's going to do what's best for you. Keep your happiness. Mm-hmm. and you have a responsibility to yourself.
Why is it, do you think, that people feel like this, I guess, anxiety and overwhelming desire to bring family together?
Because it is a nice time, because you know how it is. At the end of the day, everyone's very busy with their lives, but whether you're single or whether you're married, family or not, you're very busy. So how often are you getting together? Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately, it happens by funerals and it happens by weddings. Mm. You have to literally beg people sometimes to come to the simchas. You don't have to beg anyone to come to the funerals. They'll show up.
Mine you will.
But what you were saying was, so
the
about the holiday, it's really
listeners
nice to spend some time, whether it's Chol Moed or whatever it is, with the family, and there's nothing wrong with it. And do that, but do it for as long or as short that works for you, without, again, an obligation to, on the actual yuntif days, there's no out. You're sleeping, you have to stay for a day or 2 days, right? But if it's like Chol Moed, go join the family. It's nice to see them. It's a good time to get together. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not feeling, number one, up to it that day, or it's going to bring out something bad and negative in you that might affect what you're going to say, how you're going to feel, or just the positive energy around the rest of the family, then don't go.
Wow, Paige, telling people to stay away from their own family.
Meaning, if it's going to do more harm than good.
The voice of reason.
I think
if it's going to do more
totally...
if it's going to do more harm than good, then I think you have to know what's best. And know yourself.
How would you be able to
know that?
Yeah,
from the last time,
what's harmful, and what's not.
It's a matter of self-control.
It's in your head.
I'm not exactly sure for different people. I'm
People
sure it's
should
different
know,
things, but there's definitely a sense of self-control. And if you feel like you're gonna number one get aggravated, you're gonna start yelling at people and bothering this or getting upset at this sibling or that parent, and just making chaos out of a family get together that should be happy and fun, and you can't keep your comments to yourself. Yeah. Don't go, because you're going to ruin it for everyone else. And guess what? You're not going to have a good time either. But maybe you should suck it up and be have extra self-control and just smile and try to make it happen. I mean, at least a couple of times, if not every single get-together, show up, because you're still part of the family and everyone wants to see you. Married or not married.
People do want to see, but you have to see people. People need to be able to see you on your terms. They can't just come down. I think to piggyback what you were saying before, I noticed that people throw themselves into family time, and they just don't have that capability of realizing that there's self time needed for themselves. They first of all don't even realize it. And then also they whatever time left they have, there's it's for you to walk away has a very negative connotation on it. I'll give you an example. I'm doing the classic. We did the sukkah thing. We shook the lulav. We did the esrog, the sukkah. Okay, after the meal, I don't know, the second day, the first day, the second day, it was 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, finished lunch, finished everything. Went right to my room, and no one saw me the rest of yuntif.
So that was good, right?
That was amazing. I had a great time because I just needed some time to myself. At that point, I needed to take a nap. I showered. I just needed to, I was going through some old stuff in my room, cleaning my room, just keeping busy. And then I came down, and one of my siblings come over to me and was like, "I'm so sorry. Did someone offend you?" I said, "No. Why? What are you talking about?" "Because you left. What happened? What were you doing?" I'm like, dude, it's called self-time. It's called me time. It's called self-care. That's all it was. I just needed to get away. Why is it when they do these family get-togethers, everyone's on top of each other. It doesn't end. I remember Rabbi Ari Ben Shushan used to say this on one of his Torah shiurim on Torah Anytime, and the families, everyone's just together, and they're always together. And I'm like, yes, but you also need you time. And men get this at shul. Because they go to shul. They're social kings. They're social. Some of them are social jesters, like Avery over here. And they're able to be in their zone. Some men they'll put the talus over, like me. They'll put the talus over the head and just close their eyes, lay back, get some shut eye.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them will find a friend. They'll schmooze like one-on-one, right? Other guys need a whole chevra. Other guys need a kiddush club, whatever. Like that's how they get that escape a little bit.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's what it's structured. That's the structure of it.
Yeah,
There's no difference. So I would say to our listeners to understand that there's no difference from that and going to an improv class.
Well, a
from
difference-
going to an online to a goyish online dating class.
A difference is
to moving towns.
The wife in the case of the improv class is not circling around the block like a devilish tiger ready to pounce.
I know, right?
That would be the
It's
difference.
so
Saying
crazy.
you're spending too much time with your friends, spending too much time with your family.
I know.
I heard you were smoking. I heard you were drinking.
Oh, it's just
What are you doing?
terrible.
I needed you at Goer my glot when
I saw that.
When I
I saw
needed
that years ago.
Now.
Actually, Paige knows. Paige knows a couple. You may know the couple actually, but I was by my grandparents in the my grandmother in the neighborhood that I used to live in, and I grabbed like one of the guys. It was like back in you know where.
Yeah.
And all those couples moved in. Right, all those couples moved in,
Okay.
right, and like they did the shul. Like the shul did like a program to bring more people into the community. So they subsidized housing, and they paid a lot of your rent, and you got free membership, and they did all these things for you. A lot of communities do that. Long Beach has that, Oceanside has that, a bunch of communities. And so I was in this group of people, and like I grabbed my friend and another guy out, and we went to the sukkah, and we were like lighting up some cigars. And then this guy's wife, like PhD doctor, hard ass, comes down, and she pokes her head in, and she goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, I look at my friend, I'm like, this marriage ain't gonna last. Like this. And I give the guy credit because it did not. It was over. Like I'm like, lady, this is what Judaism's about here. Like, okay, we're smoking a cigar, fine, all right. Like this is called guys hanging out and spending time together. That's what it is.
They didn't have kids at the time. They didn't have kids.
I don't think. No, they didn't. No.
So it's not like right now I need you.
But this happens so many places. Like Avery and I used to hang out with a couple, and the house used to be a whole party, and then you know, I think the woman did it the right way, or what? Definitely that was not a good way of doing it, but the woman did it like the right way, where you know she just told the guy privately, clearly, like, no, this isn't happening anymore. No more Shabbos chills, no more holiday. Like it's over. You got a family, you got 2 kids, whatever. That's what she did.
Yeah, where I would say the difference is
Between
the Jewish from community
and these social
how they
clubs,
act,
these
and
hobbies.
not the social clubs, no, but the secular community. Right, we're talking
Okay.
we're talking about families being smothering, maybe even helicopter parents to an extent.
Yeah.
Right, the enmeshment
Yeah.
is what we're sort of discussing, and in the secular world, at 18 years old, children are sent off of adults. Adults are sent off to college for 4 years to who knows where, who knows how long. They come back for maybe Christmas,
right?
Maybe the summer. They go work. They go to on gap years for extended periods of time to other countries without their family. Now, is that right? Is that the way to do things? I don't know. I don't have the answer. Right. But the fact that parents are able to separate from their needs or their wants and their desires, because I'm sure they all want to spend time with their children as much as they can, they understand that for the greater purpose of this child becoming an independent, full-fledged human being, we have to let them go. We have to let them go to college. We have to let them develop relationships. We have to trust them.
Yeah.
Right? And in the frum community, I'm not sure that occurs.
It's not so standard. Like
sure
I've had a few friends who've done that, and I see a lot of success with them.
Yeah.
They were kicked. They were sent out on that journey early. Literally. And they were out of the house, 18, went to yeshiva, seminary, college, and just did not go back home. Went just was on their own. The whole time. And I think that's the cute parable there. I guess give a man a fish versus teach a man how to fish. I think that's teaching someone how to fish. Get out there and like do your thing. No?
Like you said, it's different from the Jewish world, Jewish world, and each family does it in a way. They do that just in the way they structure their family or bring up their kids with that sense of responsibility, independence. That starts from when they're younger. Okay, it's obviously to a different extent than living on your own for 2, 3, 4 years. But you do see different people from different families and how they spread their wings versus maybe other families where they're way more attached to their parents or they need them or they rely on them. And it could also vary across cultures as well.
Oh, yeah. Immigrant communities particularly are hit much harder. We have friends whose parents are immigrants, and they're at the beck and call of their parent.
Right.
Beck and call.
I was thinking of another sect of Judaism, but I'm not going
to I don't know what.
Tell us.
No, because I'm not a part of it, so I don't know
you don't know.
well enough to start making judgment calls.
Right.
It's the black community, isn't it? I don't know. It's those modern people in Westchester. I don't know.
Yeah, those are the people that probably send away for 4
communities.
years.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There are a bunch. They're like, I don't know, 8, 10, I don't know, probably like 30. If you ask every Jew, they'll tell you, they'll be like, oh, those Jews are so different than us. No, nothing. We have nothing to do with them. Nothing. Like two Goyim we're all the same. We're all the same. Like, oh, okay, you got the hat. I asked my friend Jackson, and he's like, okay, you got the hat, and you hang out with non-Jewish people, okay, and then they're the ones that don't have the hat, and then I don't know what they are. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much. You like, dude, you summed it up, like, totally.
And the horns. Don't forget the horns.
There you go. I can never remember it. So so I'm learning some cool stuff on part of this thing, like this looking for social life and hobbies and social clubs and things like that. You definitely get them from, I think, a work a little bit from but you also need your own. And yeah, for me, like I joined this online. It's like we do it via Zoom, so it's like not a Jewish thing. It's a Goyish dating coach. I have a little cohort. I'm learning a lot of things. I think it's very beneficial. They tell you how to like ramp up your profile. It's working. Okay, I literally went from zero. I mean, I went from like a solid 2-3 matches a week. Mm-hmm. To 15.
Oh, wow.
15, Avery. I have you beat.
I know they told you to put a picture of Tom Brady as your profile picture.
Just don't give it away. I told you. Oh, my God. I paid money for this class.
What's spoken about and what they say over there.
Oh, my. You don't want to know. You don't want to know because there are like a lot of...
A magician never reveals his trick.
Right. Like the guy teaching the class is he's a pickup artist. Oh. But he's also a dating coach. They work hand in hand, and I do want to take away the stigma against it because if you're looking to help yourself, you want to lose weight, you're going to hire a personal trainer. Mm-hmm. You have some mental health stuff, you're going to go to a mental health counselor or a therapist.
Remind me how much Harvey Weinstein charges for this class? What was it?
Well, you tell me. You're a star pupil.
I am.
You tell me.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm learning in the class right now. Like part of what I'm learning right there, I just did.
Yeah.
Is I put the question back at you.
The retort.
So I actually did learn one thing on this class so far, that you've got to put heavy questions back on the person. Because why are they asking that? They're asking it. They're asking to put you into a box, or they're looking to cross you off the list. That's why they're going to throw out such a heavy question in the beginning. When you kind of get to know, I'll let you know when I'm in that part of the class, but you got to always reverse it. You got to always reverse it and throw it back at them. You can't let the other side really
so let's
run with that.
What?
Paige it's hitting you, Paige.
No, I'll tell you what.
Can we
I'm that person that's going to be asking those questions.
So let's sample. Let's sample for the audience. Let's sample.
Wait, but the problem is that, like you said, the guys can either feel like you said, like, oh, okay, oh my gosh, like she's interrogating me, or like, why does she want to know that? And like you said,
Oh, yeah.
about
Oh,
crossing
yeah.
me off or putting me in a box. But
That's all they're looking to do.
I wish that they turn it back on me, because guess what? I want
Ooh,
them to
you
know
want it
that.
to.
I
Ooh.
want them to know. More
Also,
about
like
me.
girls want to talk more. Girls want to talk more. They
I don't know
want
if
to do
they
it.
all do it. Okay, fine, but like if you're asking,
That's what my
those
dating coach
questions-
said. You would say.
No, but like if you ask a question, that shows you're interested, whether or not you're interested or not. But based on the answer that you get, maybe you'll become interested. From the opposite. gender.
Or the opposite.
Or the opposite. But
Or the-
either
well,
way,
most of the time it
you'll
is.
learn about more
Well, in
about
the
the
beginning,
person.
it's the opposite. They're
Okay.
looking to.
Cross off.
Yeah, look, this is how it is. This is what you do in dating on the single events.
I wish
The speed dating. You know,
I
the girls
think-
always ask and they bait. They bait.
know what,
And
though?
guys, I mean, if the guy really likes you,
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough for him because they have to like get over that. That's why I take offense when girls say I personally take offense because when girls say, "Oh, there's so many players out there in the Jewish community." Avery, you said one time, "Yeah, what players are you?" You had a good line on this once.
Well, I don't remember.
It was like
though.
some line you said, like, "Oh, I'm really like what? There's a professional like hitch going around. If these guys really were professional pickup artists or like really that smooth, like they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here.
The only thing
My
they
friends
could
who were
pick up,
good at it
I'll copy you. Yeah.
are out of the Jewish community years ago.
They can't even pick up the free food from the Lawrence drop-off box. That's how bad these guys are. There's no game.
Actually, I
in the
just
Jewish
signed up for the
community.
list. I heard like over
Oh, good for
over
you.
Yom Tov, like the Sibs were like where the Sibs were like, what does O'Reilly call them? O'Reilly calls them the urchins. Bill O'Reilly calls them the urchins. So I call them the Sibs, and the Sibs are like, oh yeah, you know, so and so. Yeah, I saw them on the food pantry. I said, what? They go to the food pantry? Okay, I'm going to the food pantry. That's it. They're going. That one's driving a nice car, wealthy.
Oh.
People just go. It's so
Only
weird.
Porsches and Lexuses.
You know that?
That's
What is the
only
deal
way
with
to
that?
do it.
Do you know like wealthy people like go to the food, the JCC food pantry?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Avery, you ever went?
You get the drop-offs.
I'm gonna go.
Don't you get the drop-offs? They
No.
used to deliver. No?
Someone used to get in my office, and then every week he would come in and he'd say, "I bestow this onto you."
Are you kidding me? It's
And
like
I'd
a
go,
competition.
yes.
In Lakewood, it's like a competition. Like, who gets a better box? And then, you know what they do?
Yeah.
One person told me, I was in an office helping someone out. They're like, who wants to come for a barbecue that night? And everyone responded on the chat, "Well, you got the food from the boxes. We did too. We have it at our own. We have it at our house
Those
too."
boxes help. Like I told someone on the show, Avery, you're the program auditor. I told someone that I think we just solved the shidduch crisis. Like we should give a stipend to single people. Like there's a bigger burden on single Jews. I mean, and seriously speaking, call the Reverend Al, like Reverend Al as an out. Like there's
Stigma.
we have our hand tied behind our back because singles like pay for rent. Singles pay
Right.
full rent.
Right.
And when you're married, you don't pay full rent. You have everything split.
Right.
Everything's split. Okay, yeshiva tuition, whatever. It's a whole other thing. We said before a few episodes ago, from places will pay you more if you have kids. If you're in a real, like, very rare case scenario, but they're paying you more in a goyish place or a corporate place. If you're married, singles don't have that. Singles don't have that. So maybe we should petition the JCC. Avery, take this down. We're going to petition the JCC.
Yeah.
We're going to call singleism, no, anti-singleism, something, anti-Semitism, something like this.
Yeah.
And they should send us these boxes from Lakewood.
Wow. Acting like a
yeah.
victim really does help people get out of poverty, right? Isn't that
I'm just trying to help people
Isn't that what capitalism has
financially
taught us?
get those extra bucks like for the dates because not everything's going up.
Yes.
Like the freaking, I'm telling you, man, I am literally telling the girl like, can we meet halfway? It's just, I'm like, you live over the bridge. It's becoming a $50 travel date.
It's not a joke, by the way. You're not even.
I know.
I read somewhere actually.
Avery, come on,
in-
back me up
Come
here.
here.
I read, I think, in the New York Post or
He
the Wall
doesn't
Street
date,
Journal.
remember?
The minimum,
Joking.
millennials
stays local.
minimum date average minimum date cost nowadays? Can you guess? Amongst millennials.
my
$91.
oh my god.
It's really
I was
not-
going to say
Minimum
because
day, not
my
first date,
my
minimum
Goyish
date.
friends, my non-Jewish coworker friends were like, they literally told me, they're like, you know how expensive Applebee's got? I'm like, is Applebee's like?
The top.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's
no
just
idea.
it's a good first date spot. Applebee's,
Okay,
like
fine.
think of it like a coffee bar in the Five Towns,
Okay.
Mint in
It's
Brooklyn,
crap.
and they
But for them.
oh yeah,
For them,
no,
yeah.
they know it's like crap also, but it's
Yeah.
it's quiet and they're like, it cost me $40 a plate. I'm like, $40, dude, $40 a plate at the Jewish. I'm like, I hear you, I'm like, it is tough.
You can't come.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's expensive either way. I don't know. But
Well, it's
especially if
funny,
you're
we-
going to kosher restaurants, you're going to do multiple things. Kosher food is at a premium no matter what. So
People get apoplectic about this.
Do you, by the way, go out to eat on your first, or it really depends?
So first date, well, yeah, we should redo the first date roadmap because it's been
No,
like
because-
80 episodes. God,
but, like,
it's been
it really
freaking 80
depends.
episodes. Damn.
Because
Wow.
a lot of guys, right, who are full-time working, by the time they're getting to the girl, whatever time that is, they're hungry, so they want to eat. They're not going to eat before, and they get back too late, so they just want to eat. But then at the end of the day, they might rethink that after a bunch of years.
Oh yeah, we also don't
Because,
want to
like,
spend the
that's a
money
bill.
also like
Right, and
on that.
One guy is
You're in a position like if I'll go to Lakewood for a date, it's tricky. It's tricky
because the time.
I try to do differently, and I recommend I want people to walk away from the show, so I don't mind sharing my secrets, my commercial information, tangible stuff. First date should always be a viewing activity only. So what does a viewing activity mean?
Yeah, what is a viewing?
You're like, what is a viewing? I don't know. What are you thinking? What do you think it means? What do you think? What do you think it is?
It just sounds really funny coming from the
A
guy's
viewing
side.
activity is like going to an art gallery. You got to go
Oh,
to the
that's
art
what you
gallery.
mean.
Never go anywhere else. It's just a mix of a few different things, sugar, spice, and everything nice, throwing it together. Always take them to a viewing activity. Art galleries are a great place. Why? If it's just talking, if it's just one-on-one talking,
It can get
again,
dry real
it's
quick.
dry real quick. The chemistry will run out.
Yeah.
People are nervous. It's too many things going against you. Not worth doing. If you're going out to eat, similar thing, except now
Also,
you have food.
in
Also,
your
it's a little
mouth.
uncomfortable. The girl's not gonna. These girls are like trained. Like half of them are trained to order the whole menu. Half of them are trained to not get anything at
To
all.
take the food home.
It's just not worth going for the food, and the guy's gonna feel bad. Like if he could afford it, or even if he can, just to spend that money's not worth it.
Right.
Go to an activity is just too much. It takes you lose focus on everything. You just lose focus on what you're doing, what the activity. I used to take girls a lot to like archery on the first date, and
It's all about the
Jesus,
archery.
like wow, oh my God, it was like too much. It was, they would come out of the date like cross-eyed, limping from their heels, and my back went out, and it was just like you couldn't find like two less versatile people at that point, and you just don't have it.
I really like that idea. That viewing
Thank
activity
you.
is a
See, this is
perfect
why we come
idea.
here. We come here
Very
for
well said.
resolutions. You hear that, Avery?
Very good idea. So if a guy asks me for an idea on a first date, I'll definitely have what to say now.
Yeah, always do viewing. I'm gonna. Okay, if people want to know, let them message me. But
Sure. They're
like
gonna
I said,
want
I
to-
have a few places, but I mean, this is like, I don't know where you're like
Okay.
in Jersey now, so I don't know where it's like, but we'll find a place. But viewing activities, that's where you got to go. That's where you got to be. Avery.
interesting. What would you do if somebody told you that they do not, in either case, either
View.
or, date Republicans or they do not date liberals? What would you do? They
Ooh, a political.
specifically.
We
they're
should have done the political episode,
We
dude,
could have.
bro.
It's not an
Next
episode.
time.
It's
We
just
could
a
have done
question.
the political episode. Like, come on.
It's getting late.
It's just a.
getting late.
Yeah,
Oh, you
it
gotta
is
go.
getting late.
All
We're
right,
gonna-
choose.
Yeah.
We'll save that question for another episode.
Okay, fine. So, all right. Okay.
It's on a setting, actually.
The sun is literally setting. What time is Shabbat today? What, like?
5:58.
No, okay. What do you? I thought
Candle-
like 6 o'clock. I thought it was like I'm still like in
Before
6:30
6.
mode.
No, the thing goes
Okay,
down
fine.
real
Well, we
quick.
do have Shabbat, so fine. Very good.
You
All
do
right.
too. You do juice.
Yeah, you do you.
Just at a
Okay,
later
cool.
time.
Thanks for coming, Paige. Avery, as I usually end off, well, we'll go to the closing. Okay, Paige, Avery, thanks for coming. Episode 85, Single Hobbies and Social Clubs. It's been real, folks. You can find us at Nobody Talks Shidduchim on Instagram, shidduchpodcast.com.
Kuna Matata.
You can donate to our page. We'll take all your money, as we mentioned, inflation. Not kidding. We love you guys. Don't send us money. Spend it on yourself. As I usually end off, happy face, smiley face, silly face. This is the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast.
Buying a house is so difficult these days. I've not been able to find any houses on the market, but with Long Island realtor Sharon B., I've been able to find a whole array of beautiful homes. Marble, wood, brick. If you use Long Island realtor Sharon B., licensed real estate broker, you can buy a brand new home and live there with your parents, landlord, or your future spouse. Follow Your Listing Specialist on Instagram or on Linktree, Your Listing Specialist.
Alchi's Media Network.